Hello, this is Jason with GXXD Pay. I'm the founder of GXXD Pay, and I wanted to make a video explaining how I began building this app. It started out with problems I was having with our two brands that we have. We have Official, which is a headwear-focused brand, and All Good, which is an outdoor lifestyle brand. And we need a better customer loyalty retention rewards program for those brands. So I started digging in, doing the research, and I found that there's these apps. Well, they're white label apps, and you can slap your logo on there and you have like a rewards program. And so I'm doing the research on that, and with our brand, I travel to China a lot, like 4 or 5 times a year. So on a trip about 6 months ago, I was in China, and I was actually in a 7-Eleven just getting some snacks, and I was trying to get a card to swipe. It wasn't working. I used another card. I put the chip in. It's not reading. And I have to resort to pulling out some RMB and trying to figure out how much I need to pay them. And I just look like a fumbling idiot holding up the line, and everybody else in China is just kind of zipping by, scanning QR codes, using WeChat or Alipay, and going about their day. And I'm like, man, I gotta load this. I gotta load money on the app. I used the app for communication already. I didn't have any money on it. I load some money on the app, and I go into a 7-Eleven, make my first purchase on some snacks, and yeah, it was super easy. Just go up, scan it, and I have it, right? I don't have to remember any PIN codes. I didn't have to sign anything. I didn't have to wait for any authorizations. It was super fast. And it was a much better way to pay. Anything I paid for the rest of that trip, I used WeChat, and I would get the welcome message from the store, and then I would start to get promotions even during the trip, like within 24 hours. On the plane ride home, working on the loyalty rewards program, I realized China's operating in the future. They have a better way to pay for goods, and the retailers have a better way to market back to the consumers. And so I'm like, instead of just doing this white label app that I'm working on for loyalty rewards, why don't I just combine everything that I know is better, I mean, I've seen it, and make a mobile payments app. So that's how I started GXXD Pay. I wanted to, I see the future, and it's a better way for consumers to pay for goods and a better way for retailers to accept payments. And so what I did is I kind of started digging in on how to receive payments and how to build the app, and spent 6 months figuring out what I think is the optimum way for our culture, our market, and what we'd like to do as a brand. So we have a mobile payment app called GXXD Pay. And what it does is it connects to your bank account, and it transfers over money via ACH. Once money is transferred onto the GXXD Pay app, it's tokenized. So it's no longer got your personal information or your bank information attached to it. And then you can go to a retailer and spend it. So to explain how it works, basically, download the app, and I can look, and once I have it downloaded, I can move some money onto the app. I can look on the map and see who around me is accepting GXXD Pay. And I see the coffee shop down in the corner is accepting GXXD Pay. So I walk down there, order the cup of coffee, I scan their QR code, write the amount I want to pay, put the tip amount, or type the amount I want to pay and put the tip amount, and boom, I paid for it. I don't have to wait for any authorizations. I don't have to sign anything. I don't have to make anything swipe or remember any PIN codes. It's much easier. And on the coffee shop side, I'm super stoked. I just got a new customer that I can now directly market to. They've become my customer. So my dashboard can start to kind of track that customer's behavior. Maybe I see that, as the coffee shop, that I'm only going in there in the mornings, and the coffee shop's like, man, we need to get these guys in there for the afternoon for iced coffee or whatever it is, right? So in a month or so, or whenever the dashboard's got enough data collected, it can say, hey, I'm putting this guy in the group that only comes in the morning, and the coffee shop can market to that group. They can say, oh, we'll give you 50% off on coming in the afternoon for a coffee, and communicate with you through the app. So yeah, I think that there's all kinds of marketing potential for the merchant, and there's all kinds of benefits for the consumer. Another benefit for the merchant is that we've bypassed credit card, debit card processing. So we're using Bank ACH, and it's tokenized once it's on the app. So instead of a merchant paying 3% for transactions to Visa, MasterCard, which is doing nothing for you, you're paying 1%. And that's a significant reduction in your annual percentages you're paying to debit card, credit card processing if you're accepting good pay. And then we've built what is probably the most important component to the app. We put a micro charitable donation in every single transaction. So when I went to the coffee shop and I bought my coffee, 0.5% of that purchase on the merchant side was donated to charity. And so that's completely tax writable. It's a tax write-off for the coffee shop. It's not out of me as the buyer's pocket, it's out of the merchant's pocket, but it's such a nominal amount, 0.5%, that nobody notices it. It doesn't affect anybody's bottom line, but in volume, if we can get this app to do massive amounts of transactions, it can amount to billions or tens of billions of dollars annually going to charity. And that's really kind of special to have a macro view for this app to grow ginormously and really contribute significantly to our society by countering consumerism with micro donations that will, with volume, will really change people's lives, tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people's lives. And just have that built into the DNA of the brand from the jump. I mean, my analogy is if Visa or MasterCard would have put that in their model when they built their brands in the 1950s and 60s, they would have contributed tens of billions to hundreds of billions of dollars to charity at this point. And we can change that. We can do it. I mean, it's not set up correctly now. And we can counter all this consumerism, like, hey, come spend your money easily with this app. With, hey, a portion of what you're spending is going to go to charity. It's going to get somewhere where it needs to go. And I think that's really important to have built into the DNA of the brand. So that's the mobile payment app. I will get more specific, but that's just kind of like the overview, and I wanted to explain it because I think it's important. And stay tuned on this IGTV because I will update with specifics about every component of the app along the way and the development and the process. I'm in the concept stage, so long ways to go and lots of updates to give you, and there'll be some ups and downs, and I'm sure when I look at this 2 or 3 years later, I'll be like, oh man, I was not very well defined, but we're getting there. I mean, it's a soft concept right now. We have what we want to do, but we're going to keep chiseling at it and get it to where it's really just defined and going to help everybody, users and merchants. So I look forward to updating you in the future with all this stuff, and thanks for tuning in. All right.